What's up, my XRP brothers from another mother and my cute XRP sisters? This is Rob with the Rob007 channel coming to you from beautiful Venice Island. Another gorgeous day down at the beach, simply 5 out of 5. And the title of this episode is XRP Money Penny Printer has been turned on, and the XRP ETF turning Wall Street on. Watch this episode till the end. And if you didn't watch it, yesterday's episode on how XRP can scale to 10,000 and do it with ease, sure, you watch it. It's going to get you if you need to get pumped up on what is today? Taco Tuesday afternoon. And a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I say on this channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And thank you as always. We got 10,000 views on yesterday's episode. Welcome my new 50 subscribers to this channel. So we set our sights on 9,000 subs to this channel. So indeed, if you are new to this channel, let's try to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. So if you would, hit the subscribe button to subscribe, the bell for notifications, that like button, tap it, slap it, whatever you are feeling for a Tuesday. And if you do Twitter, follow me at Rob XRP007 up on Twitter. Love my XRP Twitter family. And yes, we're upwards of closing in on 6,000 followers up on Twitter too. Really exciting. And in 2 minutes or less, don't forget about our sponsors of this channel. iTrustCapital, one of my favorite places to custody for institutional grade custody, for 3 big reasons. One, you got 0 custody fees. Also, you have execution on your trades, 1%. Who does that? That's really, really cool. And also that you can get a yield on your XRP. They're bringing out that probably at the end of this year, if not Q1. And when you sign up, they give you $100. You get $100 when you sign up. And you gotta love that. Money for nothing and chicks for free. I left on the table. And don't forget about the fine folks at Caleb and Brown. You guys are loving that too. Yeah, I actually bought the dip on my Caleb and Brown yesterday. I got 0 custody fees over there. I can pick up the phone. They executed my trade just like this. I mean, they're like Johnny on the spot. So I can get in there. I can get in there and nail a trade because it was floating around 199, 198. So I got it in. I was liking to buy it underneath 2, and here we are today above 215. And my biggest reason why I like it is when we hit the banana zone and all the exchanges, not financial advice, they will lock up. You can have all sorts of issues. You won't be able to get your orders in, but on Caleb and Brown you can. And probably one of the better things about them too is if you want to move $1 million off, you can do it. There's no limit. You don't have to be wait. I do have a friend that's at Coinbase, and they're making him slowly take $1 million off over 4 months, and he was planning on buying XRP with that. And guess what? So it's going to take him 4 months. What do you think the price of XRP is going to be in 4 months? Comment down below. You kind of get the drift. And also don't forget about the folks at Kraken. I'll be actually helping someone to open up an account on that too. You get, I think, upwards of 150 when you sign up. Links in the description. I can get really tight trades. That's my go-to for my liquidity when I need it, like right now. And last but not least, if you're looking for an ROI on your XRP, OMG, email me your name and number and a good time to call you. Emails in the description. Be leery of the imposters in the comments on this site. And yeah, and they are also, this is my #1 place to custody where I get the highest level institutional grade custody. Really, really awesome about that. And if you're kind of curious, you can see why I'm the cat like that ate the canary when it comes to this. More blessed to be a part of that. In the comments, MVQ says 777. Yeah, Bitcoin had hit like 84,777 at the time I was writing. And it says, he says, I'm claiming a new life of health, of wealth, health, and prosperity. I like how you think. I think I'll follow suit. Currently, we got Bitcoin trading at today, 92,141. It's up 8% on the 24-hour. And XRP, at the time I was writing this, $2.1776. So you can't make that up. Up almost 9% on the 24-hour. Absolutely loving the pump. You know, it's funny because we're only $2.15, but absolutely loving the fact that there's a sense and a feeling in the air. Yes, call it the ETFs. We'll be digging down into those numbers. They're insane. And yes, Houston, the financial titan FOMOs are knocking down the gates, your XRP floodgates, and it's really so exciting to see. We got a lot of numbers. Here's some Vivek Sin up on X says the Bitcoin ETF volume up on Vanguard hit 1 billion within the first 30 minutes. Unbelievable. And then also Bank of America, they're actually touting that their clients should have 4% into crypto. as far as their risk allocation. And also from Paul Atkins, all over the news today. A lot of great interview snippets coming out up on Twitter of that. He says exemptions are coming for U.S. firms, for U.S. crypto firms in January 2026. That's really great, making the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. 21 shares, which was supposed to launch on yesterday. It got not only did it get delayed, there's not a replacement date in sight for that. So we'll just have to wait and sit on our hands for that. But CoinShares and Wisdom Tree both, I think, file their ETF on December 5th, this Friday. So we'll have 2 more in the hopper. And you know, at some point, this is also from Donald J. Trump. He said, some point in the not too distant future. Kind of like that, not too distant future. I wonder what that is defined as. He says you won't have to pay income tax. Can you imagine? Just let that thought sink in. What that would do for your family if you didn't have to pay this that we've been paying for all our lives. Really exciting to see if that develops. And Jack the Rippler says Vanguard. They actually listed all of the XRP ETFs. So not only do they have the Bitcoin one, but they're so happy to see that they have all 4 listed that their clients can purchase. Poolside Chad says XRP ETF could rip to a total of 50 million again today. That's really exciting. And CoinMarketCap says Monday was a record day for that XRP ETF, hitting, get this, $89.6 million. Supply Shock coming to a theater near you, not a minute too soon, in my humble opinion. This is from Ripple Exity up on X. As XRP exchange hold supply plummets. Get this. What's on the exchanges? Plummets by 45%. And this party hasn't even gotten started. It's already plummeted 45%. And yeah, I always say it's going to happen. It's just going to catch everybody off guard. And quite frankly, in my opinion, you're just going to wake up and you're going to be staring at God's green candle. That supply shock, yeah, and I actually call that a supply shock, and it's not if but when. And again, it'll probably just happen, catch everybody off guard. Quote of the day. This is from that German ex-banker that you've seen him over on their news network over in Germany. And it's really funny because I'd seen several videos where he's talking about how XRP can just do, if it repeats 2017, it could go to these certain numbers. And the gal that's interviewing him, the news anchor, actually starts to kind of giggle and make fun of him. We'll see who has the last laugh. But today he was on the news again, and he says, and for my quote of the day, it says, feels like the global race for XRP ETFs have begun. Do you feel that way? I feel it. That's what I'm sensing now too as well. BlackRock ETF, by the way. You know that they do have one that's an ETF for a Bitcoin. It's called iBit. And do you realize to date it's done $86 billion? And that XRP ETF, you don't think that's going to serve up some really big numbers too, especially once we start to have the Clarity Act and Ripple gets their bank license and so on and so on and so on. Robert Mitchnick was actually on record saying that, asking about why they have not filed one yet. He actually just, his opinion is that he erred on the side that BlackRock was just being extremely cautious, waiting till they had that utmost clarity. And yes, we're talking about the Clarity Act to pass before they would announce one, but eventually that they would. And of course, we all know that Robert Mitchnick spent some time over at BlackRock at head of digital assets and famous for making the XRP price calculator. 8 days, you know, we're only 8 days away from a rate cut. That's going to be super exciting. I think we got 87% poly markets that we're going to get a quarter basis point. And all that's just going to increase the reverse carry trade when that happens. So we could see that escalate a week from now. Yes, and Treasury head Scott Bessent likely, and this is worth repeating from yesterday, that the president likely to have some kind of major announcement by Christmas. Stick this one up here, see if Santa can't deliver something good on that. Michael Gayed, and this was also from yesterday, just talking about the reverse carry trade. Someone who's a certified financial analyst and has had that 2-year thesis of the Japan sparking a global credit event. Well, I'm going to go on. I watched this. There's a guy, I'm not sure the top of him. His channel's like Spy, something about a spy. He's an ex-CIA guy. He had a very interesting video today. It's about 7 minutes long, talking about the collapse and some of the indicators. And he talks about all the great civilizations that it took, centuries to build and not that long to collapse, and that they just imploded. And he says a couple of different cues that we can look at currently that are happening right now. Here are three. One, do you realize, always talk about our debt here in the U.S. It's about 37 trillion, 38, going on 39, somewhere around there. But the entire global debt of the entire world, can you say 315 trillion? That is actually absolutely staggering. But this is even more staggering. 75% of that comes from only 4 countries, that being U.S., China, Japan, the big 3 right there, and the 4th one, France. And then the second thing that he's looking for are asset bubbles popped. That the assets had a bubble that has been propped up. He goes back to C19 when they flooded money into the markets and it overinflated a lot of tech stocks, and they continued to keep those over and pumped up and held up artificially. He says that's about to pop. And we see it, yes, in the stock market and in NASDAQ. Number 3 is what smart money does. He's talking to the likes of Warren Buffett, that he has a certain big cash position. And also you take people like Lynette Zhang that I mentioned yesterday about how another indicator is silver hitting an all-time high of $58. And that's just another one that she said is flashing an SOS, something big is about to happen, a red alert, demand for immediate attention. So yeah, when you have a demand for immediate metals, what she was going on saying. And also worth repeating one more time from Robert Kiyosaki, Japan carry trade is ended, the bubble market about to deflate. And yes, that's just one other indicator that we see all these things happen. We get those rate cuts again in about a week. That could exacerbate that and just have it happen. Will we see? Time will tell. Vanguard, by the way. Now we get into the best for last. And why I'm so excited, and I'm sure you guys are too, is that we've waited 5 years for something to happen that's now starting. So many things that were in a first, for the first time only. One of them is, of course, with the ETFs. Always just saying, we just had the same fish bowl with the same water in there, and we've had like 2 to 3 trillion in this market, and now we finally have accredited investors and Wall Street showing up. Vanguard, we all know about it today. What an exciting announcement. They are offering ETFs to their clients. How big are they? A staggering 11 trillion under assets under management. And you know how many users they have? They have 50 million users, including me as well. 50 million users that now can buy ETFs. And so when you think about that goldfish bowl, it's getting really crowded in here because when you have 50 million, and I'm going to really kind of take a very conservative number on the number of XRP holders, it's probably no more than 2.5 million. I'm using that number because that's actually about a 20x of goldfish. So it's not 200 goldfish going in with just Vanguard alone. It's not 200 extra goldfish going in the goldfish bowl if we're 20 goldfish. It's 400 goldfish going into our goldfish bowl when we're just 20 of us swimming around. And each of those 400, their bags are about 30 times as large as ours. We're talking accredited investors. Now, if that doesn't have supply shock written all over it, I don't know what does. I mean, that gets me so pumped up. And the big question remains, where will we be at the start of 2026? So much stuff could happen, including a supply shock. And I'll just kind of go for a little bit, not financial advice on me. Yeah, I'm highly optimistic. I think minimum we're going to be at least $10. And I think with the ETFs, if it really starts to kind of kick in with that supply shock, easily it's going to hit 20. Jake Claver's on record saying it's going to fly by $10. And he still sees 99.9% we're 100 by the end of the year. And we see that supply shock accelerating. Absolutely, I could see $50 to $100 with a supply shock and pushing up the price to those levels. And keep in mind, once we hit $100, that's a high enough price for the banks to start using it for payments. And once again, per the Todd report, it says at that point, XRP can scale quite rapidly from $100 to $1,000. A 4-digit XRP. Can it happen by the end of the year? Comment down below. Will we be 20, 500, or 1,000? Any way you slice it, that $1,000 sounds like a bigger boat. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.